Let's continue to get your reaction to the unemployment numbers. We're joined by Labour consultant Tony Healy. Tony, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Another gasp as we see high unemployment numbers, the highest we've seen in a number of years. Why does it matter?
Well, good afternoon, Dudu. Well, it matters because we have 8 million unemployed South Africans at the moment, and that's the highest unemployment rate in the world. And we see the implications of that, of course, are that families can't be fed, they can't be sheltered, they can't educate their children, and it leads to not only poverty and inequality, but it leads to a sense of hopelessness. So it remains a national crisis.
Does it appear to you that there is will to change this national crisis? We spoke to an economist a little bit earlier on in the program, and he cited the likes of China and what India is doing currently. What is it that we can learn from other people who've been in a similar position, but they have completely turned the tide?
Well, there are things that can be done. The real question, I think, is whether there's a political will to do them, because it would require unpopular decisions to be made. For example, some relaxation on labour regulations. Our labour market is heavily regulated. The cost of doing business is extremely high, and it's not government's job to create jobs, but they can certainly create provide policy certainty within which the private sector can operate and function to a greater degree when it comes to creating jobs. And we just need to look around us. We have we can't rely on electricity supply. We can't always rely on law and order. So these are important issues that can be addressed by government and really haven't been.
We spoke to another organization, the Assembly for the Unemployed Movement, and the gentleman noted something and said the country cannot be stable when young people are left out of the economy. This in light of what we're seeing on the ground with various movements, people going up against people they perceive to be foreign nationals in the country, for instance. And here we have these latest figures. This brew, it's a concoction that would lead to what, in your view, in the next 10 years, for instance?
Well, I think we're starting to see it. We're seeing social unrest, amongst other things. We can certainly expect, and we are already starting to see legislation that gives some kind of protection to South African employees over foreign nationals. But you also raise a point regarding the youth unemployment, which now sits at nearly 67%. And is increasing every time we look at these statistics on a quarterly basis at the moment. Now, that's extremely alarming. That's extremely alarming, and something really has to be done. One can't just keep having these discussions every quarter and talking about how alarming these statistics are without enough being done. This is a crisis. They are extraordinary challenges, and they require extraordinary, urgent interventions.
The government, let me not be preemptive. I think maybe there could be another view from, a different sector of society that says, well, the government is trying. We've got investment conferences. We've got task teams, a lot, actually. So does that not matter?
Look, certainly government makes the right noises and makes the right, the right utterances. I don't think the government is blind to what's happening. I think the dilemma is that it's in executing what needs to be done. Government understands that this is the highest unemployment rate in the world. I think they fully understand that it's intolerable. The question is what are they going to do to help facilitate job growth and reduce unemployment? And I do think it's within their capacity to do a lot more than they are already doing.
Tony Healy is a labour consultant, like you mentioned a little bit earlier on. It's about making unpopular decisions. Thank you very much for your thoughts this afternoon.